Hi, I'm the key dropper, Cliff Massey Jr., and welcome to Impassioned Calls. My guest today is a jewelry maker, among other things. Her line, Nyarai's Creations, can be found on her website, which I have a link to below this video. Her creations can also be found on her social media pages, including Instagram and Facebook. There's a comprehensive list of those sites as well underneath this video. She is also beginning her journey as a visual artist, showcasing her impressive and very creative photography skills on her social media accounts as well. You can also find my guest online on her website and on social media on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Tumbler, Etsy. She is on her grind, all right? That's one of the reasons she's on the show. Errica Hampton, Nyarai, well, thank you for joining me and welcome to Impassioned Calls.
Thank you. I am really proud to be here.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I love that you're really active on social media. We were talking about all the stuff you were doing. It's such an underutilized and I like the intimacy of social media as far as marketing, and it's free. So I don't really understand why more people don't use it more. You do a really good job of using it and really connecting with your potential customers and the people you know. It's really cool.
Right.
What gets you going with the social media? Why are you so engaged with it?
Because really everybody is on social media. Like every time you go out, you see people all in their phones and they're mainly on Facebook or, a social media. Like they're always on their phone. So it's really easy to connect with those people. Now with that, I feel like, all of us should see each other win. We all want something out of life, whether it's a car, a nice house, or just money in particular. Like, I feel like everybody should be able to get a piece of that, so this is how I feel. Everybody should win.
Yeah, it's really cool because I know a lot of people talk about like in particular kids, because you and I both have kids, and people say that I want my kids to be able to compete, and I always say I don't. Life's not a competition. I'm not trying to teach my kids to compete. I'm trying to teach them to live their life. It's not about what the other person's doing. So it's really cool.
If you're sitting on a skill and you're passionate about that skill, I just feel like you should do it because it'll make you happy. And that's what life is about, just happiness. And if you're not doing that, you might regret, not doing that in the future. So honestly, I tell anybody that, like, if I see somebody that knows how to draw, I'm like, man, you should do something with that. Like my son, he's I think it's an animation. Kids wasn't doing that a long time ago.
Yeah.
He's passionate about it. So
how old is he?
He's 11.
Okay.
He's a big boy. So like he's always on the tablet doing that, and I kind of motivate him to like do that because if he don't, then he probably will regret it in the future.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, that's true. There's so much we're getting so much of that with the kids not being encouraged to follow passion. They're taught to, go to school and get a stable job, and it's like that's not, especially nowadays, that's not the path anymore. It never really was, but especially now with all the opportunities we have, you can do anything you want to.
Really?
Yeah. So one of the cool things about having you on the show is that you are doing something that is very unique. Like it's easy. Like I interviewed a dancer and I interviewed a musician, and it's easy to, when people have those types of passions, it's easy to see the path to having concerts or whatever. But jewelry making, that's a niche that not a lot of people are seeing, and I like for people to see these niches that anything you're into, anything you can build a brand around it.
Right.
And we're going to talk about that later. You have done a fantastic job with building a brand around Nyarai's Creations. I've loved following you online. It's been really cool to see you grow.
Thank you.
Yeah. I talk to everybody about identifying with a passion, even if you aren't making a living doing your passion. So the question is, when the people ask you who are you or what do you do or what are you, what is your answer? What do you consider yourself?
I consider myself as an entrepreneur.
Okay.
Because I mean, there's no limit to what I can do. I I really just call myself an entrepreneur, like or a salesperson. That's kind of like boring to even just label myself as a salesperson. So I just really, in the result, I just call myself an entrepreneur. Well, I've been interested in fashion since I was a kid,
Okay.
and I've always loved accessories. So
Mm-hmm.
I've just always finding myself putting my mom's earrings, her ring, all her jewelry or whatever. So I guess when I got older, I just decided, hey, I'm just gonna, make jewelry. I'm just gonna do this because I love this so much. Even when I used to go out, like in my clubbing days or whatever, I used
Mm-hmm.
to gather like broken jewelry pieces or whatever, and I just wore it out. So,
Wow.
yep,
So it's just always been a thing for you, just creating your own look.
always, always.
That's really cool. So you see, you've been doing that since you were a kid.
Yep.
Um, so let's move forward from that. You said in your video that the path towards Nyarai's creation started in 2015. You had a conversation with a friend that kind of became the genesis of the journey. Talk about that conversation and how that evolved.
Okay, so I met this guy on Twitter
Okay.
back in 2015. And this guy, he was a four-figure type of guy. Like he was having money coming from all over or whatever at the time.
Mm-hmm. Multiple income streams, basically.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he was basically just trying to help me be on the same path as him. So we kind of like a little conversation. He asked me, it was kind of like an interview.
Mm-hmm.
He was basically asking me what it is that I want in life, kind of like empowering me and motivating me to basically get it. So he asked me the question, what it is that I really wanted to do. And I told him, and he was like, well, you should do it. And I was like, I don't know where to start. Like, where do I start? I don't know. I've never thought about that. My mind wasn't as open as it is now then. He basically told me what it is that I needed to do, and I've been doing it ever since. And I don't even talk to him anymore. I didn't even know his number.
Wow.
Like, I know it's crazy, but
Just
yeah,
want to put it out in the universe to thank him for setting you on this path.
yes. Thank you, Terrell. If you are watching, because I remember at one point he said that he was going to be following me, that I can become way bigger than what I was then. So hopefully he sees this. So I thank you, Terrell.
That's so cool. So what is it you enjoy most about what you do?
Hmm. It's really no one particular thing. I love it all equally, which is creating the jewelry.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to make my jewelry as different as other people out there. Um, but creating the pieces and selling them to see the reaction on the people's faces once they get it, and reading those good reviews, like I love that so much. So,
That's really cool. So so what's been your biggest struggle in continuing to do this?
not being financially stable, because in order to make money, you gotta have money.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be the only thing, honestly, is just the money, not having enough money.
So one of the things about this show is I like to talk to people. I like to interview people who are still on the path. It's sometimes it's hard when you see people who've made it, and you're looking up, going, "Wow, I want to get there," but man, that looks like a long way. It's cool seeing people who are pursuing their passion, but are still grinding and still working out the kinks. And I feel like I want my viewers to see the those people struggling, but loving it, loving the journey, and still on their way to making it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's really cool to talk about that aspect of it, of the money and that being a struggle, because that's common for that, and that's what I like to say. If you or doing something that you love, you have to love it because it is a struggle and it is money can become an issue. And if you don't love it, you're not going to keep with it. You know? When you were looking for the name for Nyarai's creation, did you were you specifically targeting an African name, or did it just kind of come like
Yeah,
that?
yeah. I definitely typed in African name.
Okay.
So I was looking for an African name.
So, and I see a lot of that in the jewelry. It seems like there's a lot of African influence. What was your when did you start like, see if I can ask this right, like with your influence in for the African continent? It seems like you have kind of a passion for the continent and for our people, you know. Where did that come from? Or do you remember it ever, was there ever a time where you weren't like into that or
Yes, it was
okay.
like a it was like a jump. Like okay. So I was in 2015 when everything happened, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So once again, my friend Terrell, who I met on Twitter,
Uh-huh.
he sparked he sparked that idea. He was we used to, talk about stuff aside of, business wise or whatever, anything business or whatever we talked about or whatever. So um we used to talk about, the stuff that was going on the news and our African history and stuff like that. And before I met him, just a little bit before I met him, maybe like 2 months before, I was still, in tune with my African roots. But a year before that, no, I didn't think anything of African related, period, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, what sparked it though? I think I wanted a change. And I wanted my mind to like grow a little bit. I wanted to learn about different stuff. And every time I learned about something, Africa was right there. So I was like, let me learn more about the people from Africa, like the people, like, well known people from Africa and just basically stuff like that. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
That's cool. Um, one other thing you do that's unique is you key in on males. You have a lot of male. You do a lot of male modeling of your jewelry. You do a lot of jewelry for males. What's the genesis of that? Like most people who do jewelry, it's almost always exclusively focused on women. Um, where did that come from? The opening it up to males.
Well, simply because I knew I didn't just want to sell to women. And I feel like I don't see enough guys in beaded jewelry or basically the jewelry that I make.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, hey, why not make some for the guys, make them look good, and just go off from there,
Mm-hmm.
basically.
So what makes jewelry male? How does that work? Like when you're crafting it, what makes it male versus masculine versus feminine?
Okay. Um, Sometimes it's really well, to me, sometimes it's unisex or whatever, but
Okay.
it depends on the texture of whatever it is that I'm selling and the color.
Okay.
So, like I got a few jewelry pieces in there right now that looks like it's made for guys because when I see a guy rocking something other than platinum or gold or whatever it is that most guys wear,
Mm-hmm.
I see them wearing like wooden jewelry.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Normally get that.
All right. That makes sense. That makes sense. The whole reason I'm doing this is I feel it's incredibly important for people to follow their passion. And I like to have people on who are doing that so people can be inspired by what they're doing and hopefully follow in their footsteps. So, from your perspective, how important do you feel it is for people to follow their passion?
I feel like it's really, really important for people to follow their passion simply because um, it's something that they love doing. And if they don't do it now, they will be miserable for the rest of their life, and they will go on thinking, well, basically having regrets. Well, I should have did this, and I should have did this, and I should have just basically, been a singer, a writer, a dancer, or whatever it is that they wanted to do.
Mhm.
So they would just really go on unhappy for the rest of their life. So why not do it? Just just do it. Like Rick Ross, he became a rapper
Mhm.
at the age, I think it was his late 30s or whatever. And look at him, he's very successful now. So it's really never too late to just do what it is that you love doing.
I didn't
So
know that.
just do it.
He started that late. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he did. Well, I'm not gonna say he started it, but he popped off. Like he really
Gotcha.
got, the people. He basically, became successful at, you know, his his late 30s or whatever. So
Hmm.
just do it. Just do whatever it is that you want to do. Just do it.
I completely agree, of course. Have you ever been tempted to pursue a conventional life and give up on what you're doing right now?
And tempted. When, mm, like now or before
Ever,
or
ever.
anytime.
Anytime after you started pursuing your passion, were there times where you were tempted to stop pursuing it?
Nope.
Why is that? Because there have been struggles, and I know there have been, it's been a hard road sometimes. Why is it that you've never had the temptation to go backwards and just get a regular 9 to 5 job and just settle back into life like everybody else?
Listen to how that
I
sounds.
know you sounded you look disgusted when I was saying it.
I am like, who really? Okay, first of all, who wants? And I'm pretty sure there are people that are um comfortable with that lifestyle, but I just really feel like who really wants to get up out of their bed to do something that they really don't want to do just to pay bills? And half of the time, the check only covers the bills. It don't cover you wanting to do more than just pay the bills. So like you're probably worth more than what their job is giving you right now. No.
It's an easy
No.
decision, huh?
Yeah, like no, mm-mm. It's easy to submit yourself for doing something like that. So nah, 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 nah,
I
nah.
understand. So imagine you met a version of yourself, and you found out that version of yourself was not following your passion. What would you say to that version of yourself?
Ooh, I would. Can I curse? I'm just playing. um, man, I would be disappointed, but I would try my best to motivate myself. I would be like, look, there are so many opportunities out here to engage in. So why don't you just basically take advantage of that and do what it is that you love to do? I know it is. I know it's something out here that you like to do. I know it is. So why don't you just do it? Just do
That is perfect. That's perfect.
Dancing gives me peace. Dancing gives me peace. It gives me a peace of mind. It really calms my spirit.
Join me next week on When Passion Calls, when my guest will be dancer and choreographer Rodney Woods.
So let's talk again. Let's get back to you. Let's talk about your current projects. What are you working on right now?
it. Okay. So this is gonna take a while for me to even finish. But the name of it is Nyarai X Project. And the reason why I call it Nyarai X Project because I'm the photographer. So I'm gonna capture my models in African like jewelry that I'm gonna make for my brand or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And um it's basically dealing with the African roots, the African history, I'm gonna kind of like collect. So that's gonna take a lot of time for me to do, to collect all of the information it is dealing with our ancestors.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know when that's gonna be published, but I'm working on that right now. So I'm really excited about that because I really feel like people that look like me should know their history. And there's a lot of people out here that just don't know. They don't know a lot of stuff that is important to what's going on now. So
Mm-hmm.
that's really why I'm doing it, and that's what I'm working on.
Oh, that sounds really cool. What's your future goals? Like 5 years out, where do you see yourself?
I see myself in this big old house, with like 2 cars. No, not in 5 years. I do see myself way bigger than where I am now. I see myself with my own store. That's kind of like the beginning because it's gonna take some time.
Mm-hmm.
So I see myself with an up-to-date car. That's one. Paid for that I can afford. I'm gonna say that I
Mm-hmm.
can afford. Really financially stable. Um, in my own store and my own studio.
Okay, like photography studio or film studio type.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah, yeah.
That's cool. One more quote from you. I like to scour people's social media and bring it in these interviews. On your Facebook, you have a very simple quote on your Facebook. It's "Life is what you make it," and I love that. I love it, and I love. It's really cool seeing you make your life. You living up to that quote. You're like making your life the way you want it, and it's really, really been inspiring. It's really cool. And I appreciate you allowing everybody to go along for the ride and seeing Nyarai's creation develop in public, because you've done all this on the stage, and it's been really cool to see it. So many times businesses pop up and it's like, oh, it's big, and you never see the behind the scenes. And for you, it's like everything is raw and out there.
Yeah.
Simon Sinek, again, this guy I listen to, he says, people don't buy what you sell. They buy why you're selling it. They don't buy your product. They don't buy your product. They buy you. And you're a very, very good example of that. People like your products and stuff, but they're investing in you. They like what you're doing. They like what you're about. And I think that's what everybody should be aiming for with personal branding. Is this a conscious thing with the branding, or are you just a natural? Is this just it just kind of happened? Do you take a course somewhere? Is there a book we should be reading?
No, it just kind of happened really for me. Like I said, I wasn't like this. I was never like this all my life. So I don't know. I mean, I discovered a while ago that I love to read. Like when I was in school, I didn't like reading like that because the stuff that they made us read was not interesting at all. But the more I read about what it is that I am interested in, I guess I just become that. So if it makes sense, So,
Yeah.
yeah, it happened. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I read a lot of books, so hey.
Well, whatever you're doing, it's working. It's working. So keep doing it. Again, you can find Nyarai Creations on her website and on Etsy. We got links to that below this video. You can also find much more from Nyarai, including Nyarai X look at her up on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and Tumbler. Links again underneath. Errica, Nyarai, thank you so much for joining me on When Passion Calls, and it has been a pleasure talking to you today.
Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely.